Hi everyone, in this video we're looking at volume and surface area word problems. So when solving word problems, remember to sketch a picture and identify your variable with a let sentence. Remember, volume is filling a solid with material and surface area deals with covering a shape. So here's some examples. A cereal box has a length of 8 inches, a width of 1 3/4 inches, and a height of 12 1/8 inches. What is the volume of the cereal box? So I'm just going to make a quick sketch. A cereal box is a type of rectangular prism. So I'm just going to sketch it over here on the sides. We have something to look at, and that will help us visualize and think about what's happening in the problem. Okay, so the length is 8 inches. The width, 1 3/4 inches, and the height, 12 1/8 inches. Okay, so for volume, we're doing base area times height. The base area is 8 by 1 3/4, and the height, 12 1/8. I'm going to use my calculator to multiply it out. So I have 8 times 1 3/4 times 12 1/8. Gives me 169 3/4. And our label would be inches cubed. Part B, how much cardboard is needed to make the box? So that's talking about surface area. And I'm just going to change my color here. Okay, so surface area. Think of the pairs of faces. The top and the bottom face each have an area of 8 by 1 3/4. So we have two faces that are each 8 by 1 3/4. Plus the front and back, two faces that are each 8 by 12 1/8. Plus the left and right sides, there are two faces that are each 1 3/4 by 12 1/8. Okay, so now we have to do our multiplying. 2 by 8 by 1 3/4 is 28, plus 2 by 8 by 12 1/8 is 194, plus 2 by 1 3/4 by 12 1/8 is 42 7/16. Now I'm going to add those all together. Gives me 264 7/16 inches squared. Okay, our next problem. For a project, Kenneth has to cover all sides of a square-based pyramid with cloth, excluding the base. The pyramid has dimensions shown below. How much cloth will Kenneth need to cover the sides of the pyramid? So we're looking at surface area, but we're really just looking at the lateral area because he is not covering the base. Because it's a square pyramid, we have 4 triangles that each have an area of 1/2 of 11 by 15. And that's all that he's covering with the cloth. So 4 times 1/2 is 2 times 11 times 15 gives us 330 inches squared. Adam is building a rectangular planter without a top. The planter will be 7 inches wide, 16 inches long, 10 inches deep. How much wood is needed to make the bottom and sides of the planter? So it's a rectangular prism. I'm going to make a sketch to help me visualize what's going on here. Okay, so it's 7 inches wide, 16 inches long, 10 inches high. And we have to remember there is no top. Okay, so how much wood is needed? That's asking me about surface area. But again, remember there's no top this time. So we have only one base that is 16 by 7 plus the area of the front and back face. There's two faces that are each 16 by 10 plus the left and right sides. Those two faces each have an area of 7 by 10. Okay, so multiplying it out, I get 112 plus 2 by 16 by 10 is 320 plus 2 by 7 by 10 would be 140. Adding those all together now, I get 572 inches squared. Okay, our next problem. Elena wants to paint her jewelry box blue. The jewelry box is in the shape of a cube and has an edge length of 4 inches. How much blue paint will Elena need? So I'm going to make a little sketch. We have a cube, and each side is 4 inches. She's covering it with paint, so they're asking me to find surface area. Well, because it's a cube, I know there's 6 faces, top, bottom, front, back, left, right, and each of those 6 faces has the same area of 4 squared. So multiplying it out, I get 96 inches squared. Okay, our next example. A rectangular fish tank 60 centimeters by 15 centimeters by 34 centimeters is 1/3 full of water. Find the volume of water needed to fill the tank completely. So if it's 1/3 full, that means that it is 2/3 empty. So to fill it up, we have to find 2/3 the volume of the entire tank. So I'm going to do 2/3 times the base area, 60 by 15, times the height, 34. Okay, so multiplying that out, 2/3 times 60 times 15 times 34 gives me 20,400 centimeters cubed. Okay, our next example. Jacob is making a wooden birdhouse. The birdhouse is a prism with bases that are pentagons and has the dimensions shown in the diagram. The volume of the prism is 720 cubic inches. And one dimension didn't come out, so let me just add that to our picture. Find the height of the prism. All right, so we're talking about volumes, so we have to use base area times height. They told us the volume was 720. We get 720 equals the base area, which is the area of the pentagon. And we can split apart into the area of the rectangle, which is 8 by 6, plus the area of the top triangle, which is 1/2 of 8 by 3. And that entire amount is going to be multiplied by the height of the prism, which is what we need to find first. So now we have to do some algebra work. So we get 720 equals the quantity, 48 plus 12 times the height. So it's 720 equals 60h, divide by 60. Use my calculator. I get my height is 12. And I want to say it was inches. Yeah, 12 inches. Okay. So now our last question says, find the surface area of the prism. And we know our height was 12 inches. Okay, so now we have to find all the areas of the faces. Okay, so start at the top. We have 2 rectangles that are each 5 by 12, plus the front and back rectangles. There are 2 rectangles that are each 12 by 6. The 2 triangle parts, there are 2 triangles that are each 1/2 of 3 by 8. The left and right rectangle part of the sides, there are 2 rectangles that are each 8 by 6, plus the very bottom rectangle, which is 12 by 8. So we're getting 120 plus 144 plus 24 plus 96 plus another 96. Adding those all up together now, we're getting 480 inches squared. I hope this video helps. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.